All right, just right before we get started to get everybody warm, just start thinking that it's partly cloudy, but if we had a little bit of sun, a little bit of 73-degree weather, you're enjoying that morning coffee, that is the weather conditions at 7:30, December 7th, 1941. Good morning. Welcome to the 2021 City of Westfield Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day ceremony. I'm Eric Volk, the Master of Ceremony. Here today are members of the Veteran of Foreign Wars, Southwick, Post 872. The Vietnam Veterans of America, Westfield, Chapter 219. The Marine Corps League, Westfield, Detachment 141, with the national colors. American Legion, Westfield Post 124, with a rifle detail, as well as the American Legion Auxiliary, the Sons of the American Legion, and the American Legion Riders. We have the Purple Heart Trail Association. It is an honor to have with us today Massachusetts State Senator John Vilas, Mayor of Westfield Don Humison, and members of the Westfield City Council. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the National Anthem. Please join us in your prospective faith as Richard Alekna from Chaplain for the American Legion Post 124 leads us in the invocation.
Let us pray. O God of our fathers, we guard in our hearts today the sacred memory of those who gave their lives on that day, which will live in infamy. Bless us, O Lord, as we humble ourselves in thy presence, to remember our shipmates and friends who served our country so valiantly. We also give thanks for those who survived the attack on our country. They carried on with life, harboring the haunting memories of what they witnessed, heard, and felt that day. This we pray in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please be seated. On December 6, 1941, in the evening, there was a band competition. The band from the USS Arizona took second place. In honor of their achievement, they were awarded a late first call the next day. In the words of a veteran of the Pearl Harbor attack, the sky was full of aircraft with the rising sun insignia. Then, moments later, a terrible explosion. We ran outside the hangar and the hangar beside us received the first bomb that fell at Pearl Harbor. As I looked down Battleship Row, Arizona, Nevada, West Virginia, Tennessee were on fire. It was a sight that I will never forget. I seen gentlemen jumping in the water, trying to swim from burning oil. Some died in the water. Some died when they met the beach. From the White House proclamation given on the 3rd of December, 2021. On December 7th, 1941, the Imperial Japanese Navy attacked our forces at Pearl Harbor and other locations in Hawaii, taking the lives of 2,403 service members and civilians, and leading the United States to declare its entrance into World War II. It was that day and still lives in infamy 80 years later. As we mark the National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, we honor the patriots who perished, commemorate the valor of those who defended our nation, and recommit ourselves to the carrying forth the ensuing peace and reconciliation that brought a better future for our world. Today, we give thanks to the greatest generation who guided our nation through some of the darkest moments and laid the foundations of international system that has transformed our former adversaries into our allies. Today, Westfield honors Chief Petty Officer Machinist Mate Frank P. Volkovich, United States Navy, USS Arizona, the first Westfield resident to lose his life in World War II. It is my pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker, United States Air Force retired Colonel Brian Barnes, a former A-10 pilot and wing commander of the Connecticut Air National Guard. He served for 28 years and is a combat veteran of the Iraq War.
Good morning, Mayor Humison, Senator Vallas, Westfield Council, distinguished guests, and citizens of Westfield. It is good that we meet today to celebrate and remember. I want to thank the Westfield Veterans Council for inviting me to join all of you here today in remembering the events that took place at Naval Station Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. Today marks the 80th anniversary of what President Franklin Delano Roosevelt called a date that would indeed live in infamy. National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day was designated by Congress on August 23rd, 1994. And today we honor the 2,403 U.S. personnel, including 68 civilians who lost their lives, and the 1,178 people who were injured during the attack. I don't believe it's my place to spin events, nor to draw some profound conclusion for any of you. Our duty today is to solemnly remember what actually happened and to accurately reflect on those events as they occurred and let the facts speak for themselves. Prior to the attack, tensions between Japan and the United States had been building for almost a decade. Wars against China and Russia had emboldened Japan's plans to expand and become a world power. In light of these events, the United States passed economic sanctions against Japan. This eventually led to Japan signing the Tripartite Pact with Germany and Italy, the two fascist regimes that were then at war with our allies. Tokyo and Washington did negotiate for months leading up to the Pearl Harbor attack, but without any success. To Japan, the war with the United States was inevitable as it sought to defend its status as a major world power. They also believed their only chance at victory was indeed a surprise attack that would destroy the U.S. Pacific Fleet, along with the morale of the U.S. military personnel and the nation, enabling Japanese forces to advance on targets all across the South Pacific. Admiral Yamamoto conceived the Pearl Harbor attack based on a prophetic book entitled The Great Pacific War, that was written in 1925 by a British naval authority, and a successful attack on the Italian fleet by the British Royal Air Force. Yamamoto was convinced that the novel could actually become a reality. How ironic that a book and successful defeat of a fascist enemy by our longtime allies actually sparked Japan's planning. As far as the attack itself, some of the known facts include the following. On December 6th, the U.S. intercepted a Japanese message that inquired about ship movements and berthing positions at Pearl Harbor. The cryptologist gave the message to her superior, who said he would get back to her on Monday, December 8th. On Sunday, December 7th, just before dawn, a U.S. Navy vessel spotted an unidentified submarine periscope near the entrance to Pearl Harbor. It was attacked and reported sunk by the USS Ward in a patrol plane, and indeed, the first casualties of Pearl Harbor, an American vessel actually destroying a Japanese submarine. At 0700, an Army radar operator at Opana spotted the first wave of the attacking Japanese force. However, the officer who took the report didn't find that it was significant, mistaking them for U.S. B-17 bombers that were expected to arrive in the islands. The Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor began at 7:55 that morning. Attacks on Pearl Harbor, Ford Island, Kaneohe Bay, the Marine Airfield at Iwo, Army Air Corps fields at Bellows, Wheeler, and Hickam were all bombed and strafed. The purpose of the simultaneous attacks were to destroy the American planes before they could rise and defend Pearl Harbor. Now, the entire attack took less than 2 hours, ending at 09:45 as Captain Fushida sent the code Tora, 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 indicating the Americans had indeed been caught by surprise. The Japanese strike force that day consisted of 353 aircraft launched from 4 heavy carriers. This included 40 torpedo airplanes, 103 level bombers, 131 dive bombers, and 79 fighters. The attack also consisted of 2 heavy cruisers, 35 submarines, 2 light cruisers, 9 oilers, 2 battleships, and 11 destroyers. This was a massive assault by any measure. Of the 100 ships in Pearl Harbor that day, the primary targets were the 8 battleships: the USS West Virginia, the USS Oklahoma, of which 429 perished, the USS Arizona, perhaps the most famous, who lost 1,177 crewmen, or half of the lives lost that day, the USS California, the USS Maryland, the USS Tennessee, the USS Nevada, by the way, which was the only ship to get underway, but was forced to beach at Hospital Island so that she would not block the harbor after being damaged, and the USS Pennsylvania. But thank God that the story doesn't end there. Let's consider this. The Pearl Harbor attack, while marking the beginning of World War II and pitting the U.S. against 2 enemies on opposite sides of the globe, failed in its objective to completely destroy the Pacific Fleet. Japanese bombers missed oil tanks, ammunition sites, and repair facilities. Not a single U.S. aircraft carrier was present during the attack. Of the 8 battleships targeted, only 2 were destroyed, the Arizona and the Oklahoma. However, the other 6 were recovered and repaired and served many future missions, contributing to Japan's eventual defeat. In fact, after only 6 short months, the U.S. carrier fleet dealt a decisive blow to Japan's Navy in June 1942 at the Battle of Midway, sinking 4 Japanese aircraft carriers. And after this U.S. victory came the start of the U.S. island-hopping campaign and the eventual defeat of the Japanese Empire in August of 1945. Despite the horrific attack and loss of life, the resilience and determination of the United States military and the nation as a whole, indeed those we would come to refer to as the greatest generation, led the U.S. to victory in World War II, endured many hardships during the future decades to come, while paving the way for unprecedented technological advances and prosperity in the years that followed. And their example must always, always be remembered. Today, as we honor and remember the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, I strongly encourage all of you to research the numerous facts and the heroic facts that took place, of courage displayed by men and women at Pearl Harbor on that day. There is so much information that I promise it will inspire and it will change you. What lies ahead for our great nation is yet to unfold, but one thing is crystal clear. The United States of America has a rich legacy to ponder as she prepares for unimaginable challenges in our future. The indelible images and lessons of Pearl Harbor will forever be part of who we are, and if heeded, will help us someday to rise above any uncertain future. It has been my honor to be part of this remembrance ceremony today. I am always grateful for the men and women who wore the uniform during the past and who do so today. You will always have my deepest respect and admiration. God bless all of you. Thank you.
And now some words from Mayor Don Humison.
Thank you, Eric. Brian, thank you for your words. Thank you for reminding us why we're here today. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and honored veterans. It's especially a privilege to be here for this Pearl Harbor Day. I'm honored to be joined with my friends in the Westfield City Council, and I'll introduce them to you right now. We have City Councilor Bill Aniski, City Councilor Ralph Figge, City Councilor Bridget Matthews-Kane, and City Councilor Cindy Harris. Thank you for joining us. I'm also happy to see Senator Vallas here, and also to bring the greetings of Representative Kelly Pease, who is in Boston and couldn't be here this morning. You know, it's fitting that Westfield do this ceremony every year to remember the bravery of people that laid it all on the line, that offered to serve their country, even knowing that the chances were that they may not come home, whether they served in the Army or the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Coast Guard, any of the armed services of our country. The chance is always there that when you sign that dotted line and go to work, that you may not come home. But you proudly, and in every case, honorably serve the goals of this nation. And it's fitting that Westfield does such a good job remembering at all of our veterans events those people that did that job and continue to do the job today. This is my last veterans ceremony as mayor of the city. It's also my last veterans event after about 30 years in public life, serving as Mike Knapik's legislative aide, and then as a state representative, a state senator, and as mayor. And I reflect back on all the ceremonies I've been able to attend over the years, and as important as they were, as much as I have memories of each of those ceremonies, the biggest thing that I'll leave is, or the biggest thing I guess I'll remember, is the veterans that I was honored to have the chance to meet. So I guess I just want to take this final moment to say thank you to all the veterans that not just generally served the country or generally represented the city of Westfield, but the ones that touched my life in some way as friends over the years. I think of Dominic Grimaldi, I think of Bob Greenleaf, I think of Dick Trusty, I think of so many others. Walt Zarachek. Walt was great. On this day, Walter used to say, "Donnie, you want to talk? Keep it brief, it's cold out there." He did, he said that. Then on Memorial Day, Walter would say the same thing. "Donnie, you want to talk? Keep it brief, it's hot out there." I remember those things. That made me laugh, but it also reminded me of just how cool these guys were. So I want to say to each of the veterans I've been honored to be able to be friends with, thank you very much. Thank you for being a friend to me. Thank you for your service to our country. Have a great day, everybody.
And now, Senator Vallas.
And Mayor, I want to say thank you to you. You know, for the past, since I've been in office and years prior to that, there is not a single veterans-related event that you don't proudly show up for. So we thank you for your zealous, steadfast commitment to the men and women who have volunteered to serve this country. Thank you so much, Mayor Humison. You know, I also remember Mr. Zarachek's fond words before every event where he told us to keep it brief. So I'm going to follow his advice. I just want to briefly talk about, you know, the best memory I have of this event far and away is, and I think it was 2016, the last year he was here with us, with Mr. Greenleaf. he was given an opportunity to speak. And I think everybody waited with bated breath to hear what he was going to say. And he gets up to the mic, and he had two words. Two words were, study history. And I was absolutely taken aback and flabbergasted about that. And as this morning, as I was getting ready to come over here, I was saying to myself, you know, what would he be thinking about today? What would he say today where we are as a nation with this study history? And I started chuckling to myself because I'm absolutely convinced when he said study history, he wasn't talking about read your social media feed every day and read the articles they see. Positive he wasn't talking about that. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Mr. Greenleaf was talking about books, and he was talking about schools, and he was talking about teaching folks the lessons from the past for the very simple reason that if we know the past, it won't happen again in the future. And I look at this world here today, I see Russian troops on the Ukrainian border. I see China testing a hypersonic missile. And I just hope, in fact, I pray that we remember Mr. Greenleaf's lessons to study history. Most important thing we can do right now. Thank you so much.
I ask the following to make their way to the bridge wall. Mayor Humison, Senator Vilas, Colonel Barnes, and the family of Chief Petty Officer and Machinist Mate Vojtkovich.
Okay.
We will now have our ceremonial wreath committed to the waters in the memory of those who gave their lives December 7th, 1941, followed by a rifle volley and the playing of taps by Stephen White.
Sergeant Arms! Head! Point! Point! Ready! Hey! Hey! Quiet! Hey! Quiet! Hey! Quiet! Ready! Hey! Color guard! Present! Present! Fire!
Please join us in your prospective faith as Richard Olikna leads us in the benediction.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for this occasion to pause and remember these heroes. Help us to draw courage from their example of the brave Americans we honor. As we go from here, may we be ever vigilant and ever valiant. Steel us to stand, Father, for this land and this lighthouse that is the United States of America. We ask this in your name of your Son and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
I'd like to note that immediately following this ceremony, we're going to have a presentation by the Purple Heart Trail Association. So we ask you that you all please remain after the ceremony for that presentation. We would like to thank all of you in attendance, the organizations that have contributed to this honor of the Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. May we never forget the service and the sacrifices of the greatest generation. God bless the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the Pearl Harbor Day Remembrance Ceremony. Thank you for your participation. Take about a 30-second pause and we'll start the next ceremony. Okay, if I could have your attention. From the Purple Heart Trail Association, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Michael L. Roeder, United States Army retired, from the Medical Corps Services, for a presentation. Yes, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I want to say how honored I am to be here. I am speaking on behalf of the Purple Heart Trail Association. I'm here with George Barnett, the chairman. I'm also pleased to say that I am a recent member of AL Post 124. I had been a member of AL Post 454. However, it did close recently. AL Post 454 was the same post that my dad, a veteran of World War II, a prisoner of war for many months, captured during the Battle of Bulge. So I intend to make my way down to your organization shortly. The Purple Heart Trail is an organization in Westfield that is dedicated to making sure that our veterans are never forgotten. And today is a classic event because we commemorate those who specifically were assigned to Pearl Harbor when the attack occurred. And I remember those men and women today. But I have to tell you, I'm also thinking about all our veterans and the 18 million American men and women who served during World War II. Today, we hope this will be the first of many annual events where the Purple Heart Association recognizes individuals from the Westfield community who have exhibited strong, constant support for veterans and veterans organizations that we see here today. The first recipient, and first of all, let me say that I know all three recipients. And I know that their involvement in this community goes far beyond their commitment to veterans. And so it is a good thing we're doing today, and I hope it's something we can do on this day for the next 100 years. Because in that way, we ensure that our veterans will never be forgotten. So our first recipient, I'm going to ask Ann Lentini to step up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ann Lentini is the executive director of DOMUS. It's a social service agency which deals with housing issues in the city. But Ann has been involved in so many other projects over the past 32 years that we felt that this was something she deserved. Let me read the certificate. The Westfield Purple Heart Trail, Citizen of the Year. Westfield Purple Heart Trail extends its thanks to Ann D. Lentini in appreciation for her diligence and dedication to the veterans of Westfield and surrounding communities, signed by George W. Barnett, Jr., Chairman. Please.
And thank you very much for all you've done.
And
Thank you. And this is the flag also. Thank you. Good job. Good job. Yeah, you too. I'll
Thank
talk
you,
to
Ann.
later.
Our next recipient is Cindy C. Harris. Cindy, please. I know Cindy well. She is a member of the Westfield City Council, has been, I guess, almost an automatic selection every 2 years. She's been on the council for many, many years, and I'm happy to tell you that her late husband, Mike O'Connell, and I were good friends. We were high school classmates. We played basketball together. Mike was the ball guy. He handled the ball on the court, and he would pass me the ball, and I would shoot. That's the truth. Cindy has been involved with many civic activities in Westfield for years. And she has done that not only through the city council, but also through her personal endeavors. And we felt that today was a good day to recognize her efforts. And so the Westfield Purple Heart Trail, Citizen of the Year, Westfield Purple Heart Trail extends its thanks to Cindy C. Harris in appreciation for her diligence and dedication to the veterans of Westfield and surrounding communities. And I believe you are a Gold Star daughter.
That's right. My father died in Korea.
Her father did pass away, die in Korea. So it's all tied together here, isn't it? Congratulations.
Thank you.
And please accept our flag, Cindy.
Thank you.
Our final recipient is John Adams from the City Council. He's a principal in the First and Adams Funeral Home. He could not be here this morning because he has two services that are demanding his time. So Don Wilgus, who is the head of fundraising for the Purple Heart Trail, and I are going to be going down there with a few other individuals to present him his award. So that concludes our
Thank you.
presentation.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Would you like to say a few words?
I'd like to thank you all for coming out this morning. It means a whole lot to me and my committee over here, Andy Chikowski, Mark Fedora, Lyman Barnett, and Joe Lesko. Thank you all for attending.
All right, this concludes our ceremonies for today. Thank you all for coming out. Have a wonderful day, and remember what today was really all about.